You're taking a look there at the Gilmore backyard. Not too much of the rustling going on in the backyard right now, but that's also possible because it is enclosed in the backyard 4 ways. But we are looking at some winds starting to pick up already, and we'll continue to see that pick up and really ramp up later on tonight. So what are we expecting? Definitely that ramp up later on, but strongest of the winds really late day and overnight. After tomorrow, it's really no big wind event in the forecast for quite some time. In fact, doesn't look like we're going to see any similar setup to what we're looking at now. So let's talk about this setup. It's almost identical to what we saw on Sunday, just a slight change, and that is really the position of the low. It shifted just a tiny bit over toward the east, and that jet stream along with it are also starting to push that low a little bit further to the east. That means that the pressure in the millibars here when it comes to these two pushing up against each other is slightly less. We're talking as much as 5 to 6 millibars less in pressure, but that can have an effect on where this is all targeting. So let's talk about where it's targeting. We're looking at the valley areas, the foothills, the Sierra. We're still looking at the coastal range of seeing strong winds, but really the strongest of the winds are really going to be shifted further east as well toward the foothills in the Sierra. So really this is the north to easterly wind moving in, and we'll continue to see these winds picking up. So let's talk about and look at when we can see all the action happening here. You're looking here in the afternoon now. You can see that the winds start up a little bit toward the coastal range first before they start ramping up once again into the foothills and the Sierra. Now, we saw this on Sunday, but take a look at the purple here. You're seeing more purple shades near the foothills and Sierra, whereas on Sunday we saw most of the purple and the pink shades on this side. If you look at our legend up there, the darker the purple, the pink shades, the faster the winds. So we're starting to see more of the winds up toward the foothills and the Sierra, although we're still going to see a lot of winds toward the coastal range, which is not a good sight when we're talking about the fires. All right, so fast forward into the early morning hours, we'll still see a pretty good wind event happening here, anywhere from 25 to 35 mile per hour winds. And then finally, as we get to around lunchtime or so, by Wednesday, things are starting to calm down, especially in the valley. We'll still see just a bit of those winds for the coastal range, the Sierra, but after that, we're pretty much looking at calm winds for the foreseeable future. So it is looking pretty good. We do want to talk about the air quality because it is moderate Sacramento, Yolo, Solano, but it is unhealthy for sensitive groups. If you're in the San Joaquin, Stanislaus area, El Dorado, Placer, looking good for now. Of course, we don't have fires necessarily pushing a lot of that smoke in your area at this point, but we do want to let you know about some fire safety reminders. You want to avoid equipment out there that could spark fires. Obviously, you don't want to mow your lawn on dry grass at this time, especially. Avoid parking on dry grass and vegetation. I think a lot of people forget about that. They can just park off onto the highway there, and then properly, of course, dispose of matches and cigarettes. It's very important information that people just kind of forget about every now and then. So we have been talking a lot about these red flag warnings in place. That's going to continue through Wednesday.